All right, everyone. So we're just going to get started with our presentation for tonight. Um, for we missed the month of February, so we were just going to be discussing our goals and basically what our goals was for us physically and mentally to prepare for the new year. We are still doing that, but do a lot of thinking and how March is kind of a a like I guess like a bridge into being consistent with our not only just weight loss but any type of life goals that we have. I think a lot of people stop their goals in March and like Aprilish because they may not have seen any results, but they're also because of intrusive thoughts. So, um, as example, like not that many people are on um on the group as it was in January, and they were preparing for February. Um, and it's March. So I strongly believe because I have them too, intrusive thoughts. Um, it could be a reason that we get off of the high of our, if you will call New Year's resolutions or any goals that we've set for ourselves. Um, so I'm just going to present what intrusive thoughts is, and then we're going to truly expound as a group in April because believe it or not, we all of us have them. And some of us may struggle with them more than others. For me, I think I probably struggle with them a little bit more because of me having PCOS and having hormonal imbalances. And sometimes my mood swings can sometimes get the best of me. But what I've been learning is that if I allow it to allow the thought to take place, then and then dissect the thought, then I realize that there is not fact. Majority of your intrusive thoughts are not fact. They're just some just merely doubt or anxiety, or just obsessive thinking or thinking too much into a thing that you're struggling with. So I got my resources from health at Harvard dot edu over mind and mood and managing intrusive thoughts. And then I also got information from it's called centerstone .com. Um it's a counseling services, and they have practices all throughout United States, but they had a good resource on how simplifying intrusive thoughts. So I thought that was good reference to go from. I'm going to put the links not only in Facebook but also in our group meet chat as well. So let me get to it. I don't have to share my screen because, well, I could share my screen. It's just a Microsoft Word. Um, so share. Okay, so we're just here, and hopefully you guys can see it. So, intrusive thoughts are not uncommon. And in fact, studies have shown that more than 94% of people have experienced intrusive thoughts at least once in the last 3 months. Intrusive thoughts are unwanted thoughts, impulses, or urges that can occur spontaneously or that can be cued by external, internal stimuli, and they can come as a surprise. Um, it seems these thoughts seem to come out of nowhere. Some of them can be strange. Some of them can be disturbing thoughts or troubling images that pops into your mind. The author even goes to the point where he's saying that intrusive thoughts can lead up to be violent or sexual or reoccurring fear that you do something inappropriate or embarrassing. And whatever reason it can bring on worry and shame. So if you feel those anxiety, doubt, shame, worry while you're having that thought, that is a cue to let you know that this is an intrusive thought. And usually those thoughts happen from something that's triggering you. And for us being focused, usually a weight loss management group, it's how we cope with the intrusive thought that comes to mind. Some of us can go into a deep depression or a deep mood swing, and then we can have, or we could go into, we're going to drink, or we're going to overeat, or we're going to do grazing, which grazing means that you could be snacking, and the snacking has no substance majority of times, like cakes, chips, or you could it just you're making unhealthy decisions that one also can stimuli the thought, just makes it kind of worse, or it's unhealthy for your body. So the goal with having intrusive thoughts is making sure you see the signals of your intrusive thought. So when you have those thoughts and they bring on those feelings of worry, shame, doubt, anxiety, this is a cue for you. Okay, so we're going to keep reading. Some of the reasons people tend to shift to this thinking is due to previous paranoid behaviors, learned behaviors. You could have learned these behaviors from childhood, traumatic experiences. Another, a child experiences from childhood, or relationship experiences, or worship relationship experiences. They could have had severe stress or potential psychosis. Psychosis. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. Please forgive me. And I never thought that you can be under severe stress, which could also be a traumatic experience, can bring on intrusive thoughts. So examples of severe stress, it could be overworking. Like, that could be severely stressful. You being a new parent, or having to take on family members in your home, or anything that adds to a normal routine can be severely stressed, or a major life change, having a child, or experience a passing of a loved one, or going to a new job after you left an old job and you were extremely comfortable. You could also have intrusive thoughts of feeling like you're not good enough at that job. That could take on severe stress. So these are some reasons. These are just a little bit of reasons of why people have these shifting in your thinking. And you may not even notice it that it's happening. You could think that's really you thinking that, and that's really just an intrusive thought. Some intrusive thoughts occur from mental health diagnosis, such as OCD, experiencing, like we just discussed a minute ago, stressful environments that promote PTSD. These thoughts can be triggered by moments throughout the day. Some people have these intrusive thoughts and they don't have a mental diagnosis. It could be just stress, straight up stress, or even everyday life depression. Like you might not have a diagnosis of a depression, but you could have just a slight of just everyday stress, depression, and you can experience intrusive thoughts. Um, Intrusive thoughts are we stated before are often triggered by stress or anxiety. They may also be a short-term problem brought on by biological factors such as hormone shifts. Like I explained to you guys that I have PCOS, so my hormones are unbalanced. So just the mood swings can shift. They also gave an example that a woman might experience an uptick in intrusive thoughts after the birth of a child. Some women may have described this as postpartum depression, that women who have just had a child can have intrusive thoughts. And having friends that have already been that are doulas, are there in the medical field, they have shown that this is true, and this is why you need the support when you having a major life change with a child. You may have intrusive thoughts creep in because your life has changed, stress has been added on, and anxiety has creeped in. So ways to identify intrusive thoughts. Um, here are some examples. The thought is unusual for you. Now, you know that you know who you are, you know how your body is. So if this thought has taken place in your mind and you know this is not how you think, this is an intrusive thought. This is something that you never experienced before. The thought is bothersome. Like they had described at the beginning, that some thoughts can be troubling when they pop in your mind, or they could be violent, or they could have a recurring fear. And it doesn't feel comfortable to you. This is an intrusive thought. If you have those thoughts, I highly encourage you to seek some professional help if this happens on the regular. If you feel like these thoughts are becoming unbothersome, you need to talk these out and come up with a plan that shapes you personally on how to manage these thoughts and how to overcome them, because usually intrusive thoughts are not fact. This is just something that it's something going on that you need to deal with, and it could be a root to something, or it could be something you're just dealing with a change, and sometimes it hits us harder than others. The next one is, if a thought is disturbing and it's something you want to push out of your mind, it might be an intrusive thought. Like if you it's disturbing to you, that you want to push it out of your mind. I think, like, for me, because of my past experiences from having unhealthy relationships with men, or my previous marriage not being as healthy as I wanted it to be, I have intrusive thoughts of my current boyfriend sometimes may want to cheat on me. This is an intrusive thought. It's not fact, or I don't have proof of it yet, so it's really just a fear. So these fears is disturbing to me, and I want to push it out of my mind. The thought feels hard to control. Um, Often intrusive thoughts are often repetitive, and some of them might not go away. I will say that you should seek professional help if this is becoming too hard to control. And her name is Elaine. She stated, and this is from Cortisone. I forgot to quote it. I'll quote it on in the once this meeting is over. I apologize. Is she states, the more you think about it, the more anxious you get, and the worse the thoughts get. Instead of fighting intrusive thoughts, It's better to learn to live with them. When these thoughts emerge, try taking the following steps. 1, identify the thought as intrusive. So she says, think to yourself, that's just an intrusive thought. It's not how I think, it's not what I believe, and it's not what I want to do. So if I'm sad, or if I feel like I want to give up on my life, not suicidal, but I just want to give up this job, I don't want to work here anymore, these people don't like me, or my friends don't like me, now I'm going down a spiral. Take captive of that thought and realize that this is not how Shavonna feels. This is not how Shavonna's thinking. And I don't even really believe that these people really think like that for me. Or I know I can do this job because that's why they hired me, because they knew I had the potential to do it. And I've been doing it well this far. Then this is not my reality. This is not what I want to do. I don't want to quit my job. Well, I could want to quit my job, or I deserve something better, but the reason why I want to quit is not fact. Like, if you want to quit your job, what are the reasons you want to quit your job? I want to quit my job because I want to make more money. I want to quit my job because I know they don't appreciate my work ethic and I need to go somewhere better. It has nothing to do with my self-esteem. You see what I'm saying? My self-esteem is not, it should not be a factor when it comes to this job. Those are intrusive thoughts. And sometimes our lower nature, or some people, or I believe that it could be our inner demons, tells us those and has those intrusive thoughts in our minds because they want us to live. It wants us to live in fear, or it taps into an insecurity that we may have been dealing with since childhood. And when she and that's something you want to learn from. Acknowledge that this is intrusive thoughts. Acknowledge that this is not the truth about who you truly are. Acknowledge that this does not determine my future or my present. This is just a thought that's going to pass through, and then I'm going to take hold and I'm going to keep walking forward. So this is not what you believe. This is not who you are. This is not what you want to do. Those are the things how you can think to yourself when you're having this thought. She also states, don't fight with it. When you have an intrusive thought, just accept it. Don't try to make it go away. So when she was saying just accept it, it's basically just accepting that you have this intrusive thought. It doesn't mean that you're wrong for having intrusive thought. It doesn't mean that you're evil. It doesn't mean that you should feed into your doubt, or you should allow it to define you as a person. Just accept that you had the thought and try again the next moment. And when I mean moment, I mean exactly that, the moment, not the day, the next moment. You had it. Okay, I don't know why I was thinking that, but I thought it. Lord, forgive me. I forgive myself. That is not fact. I'm finna move on to another thought. I'm finna redirect myself. Because I think that's what happens when we tap into the truth of thought. We own it as its fact. We own it as it determines the whole day, or it determines the whole moment, or it determines our whole future. And that's not fact. It is truly a thought. And if it gets too, like they stated before, if it feels too hard and it keeps being repetitive, then that's a sign that I need to go get counseling, or I need to go see a doctor. I need to go get counseling from a pastor, or go see a professional counselor, or go to a work or a group or something that I can discuss these thoughts, so I can get some support in that area. These tips that she's giving is when they're just manageable, when they're just not as they're not as hard intrusive thoughts. So I just want to differentiate the difference, because this is a hot topic. Number 3, don't judge yourself. Know that having a strange or disturbing thought does not indicate that something is wrong with you. So for me, if I have an intrusive thought, and the intrusive thought makes me spiral to the point where I'd be like, I am finna tear up these cookies, or I'm finna tear up these chips, or I know that I shouldn't be eating. I'm not hungry, but I'm eating because I'm emotional, because I'm feeling doubt, shame, because I just had this moment of about an hour of feeling bad for myself. Then if that happens and I fall into that gap, I'm not going to feel bad. I'm not going to judge myself for having the thought. And I'm not going to judge myself for having the moment that I ate probably 3 or 4 cookies in one sitting, whatever, and I felt the shame from doing that. I'm not going to judge myself. The next moment, I'm going to move forward. I'm going to move forward with making healthier choices, or making healthier thoughts to myself, or I'm going to figure out a way to respond with the thought that I'm having of feeling guilty. Okay, I'm feeling guilty. Let me go journal, or let me go call someone that I really trust with this information, or I'm just going to spend some time and I'm going to read or something like that, or watch my favorite show just to get my mind off of what I've been thinking. So when you experience intrusive thoughts, it might be hard to determine what you feel and what is real. So remember, intrusive thoughts are merely assumptions. They're not facts. As Dr. McGee says, you can follow these methods to help minimize intrusive thoughts and help you with your mental health. Ground yourself. 1, ground yourself. Take these moments to amplify your senses. Focus on your surroundings. Describe the things that appeal to your 5 senses. Tangible things will help you stay grounded and aware. For me, what helps me stay grounded, and it's not for everybody, but it's journaling. Journaling lets me just dump what's in my mind, and allows me to focus on what I'm thinking. It don't have to be all in one sync. It don't have to be pretty. I can be jumping around, but I'm getting those thoughts out, and it's helping me deal with right now. Helping me. Sometimes I have to touch something. You know, that's why they created stress balls, because some people have stress and they need to do something with their hands, something to make them feel grounded. Even meditating and definitely praying helps you feel grounded. Working out, going for a walk, things to help you release your mind, focus on your surroundings. The next one is challenge your thinking. Ask yourself, is there another explanation to my thinking? Or will this matter a month or a year from now? As Dr. McGee says, this way to engage the thought and acknowledge that it's present, but really challenge the overall existence of it. It's another way to ask, what am I really feeling? I thought somebody was trying to come in. The next one is relaxation tips. Try to focus on your breathing. Utilize your calming skills like music, and then another engaging hobby that brings you peace. And this is essential, because sometimes when we're overwhelmed, and we're having intrusive thoughts, we don't know that we're breathing heavy, or if we're not breathing at all. Sometimes not being able to breathe increases our blood pressure. And if our blood pressure gets so high, we can have a stroke or a heart attack. And it doesn't matter what age we are. These things, if we don't have it, we don't have our relaxation tips, our intrusive thoughts can affect our health. And so this is essential that we have to focus on the way that we're breathing during a time of stressing moments. And intrusive thoughts can enhance our stress at the moment. So this is something that is essential. And the last one, as I stated before, seek help. There's a belief that you shouldn't talk about intrusive thoughts because people will assume things about you, says Dr. McGee. Some don't want to be labeled as having mental illness. When you find yourself struggling more, it's important to know that receiving help will benefit you. Find your own way to get help or reach out to a trusted individual to assist you on this journey. So, how does intrusive thought link into us talking about our weight management? Intrusive thoughts affect us because sometimes that's how we deter from our healthy goals. And we don't even believe that we're doing it. So, have you ever, for example, when you know you set a plan that I'm going to work out Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And when Tuesday comes, you have this sense of thought that came to your mind that influences you not to go work out. That's an intrusive thought. That is not what you really wanted to do. You allow a thought that's a split second to determine that you should stay at home and do something else instead of focusing on your goal. I've done it. Everybody here has done it, but that's an intrusive thought. When we choose to allow the thoughts to go ahead and remove itself, or we change the thought and say, you know what? No, that's not what I'm feeling. You remember what she said in the article? That's not what you're feeling. It's not true. It's just a thought. That's not what I'm feeling. That's not what I want to do. What I want to do is what I plan to do last week, is go to the gym on Tuesday, or whatever day I said I was going to do. Or I told myself I was going to eat healthier or pay more attention or go to the doctor to see my health assessment. Instead, you allow that intrusive thought to bring doubt, anxiety, or procrastination about why you should not do it. Or if you do it, you ain't gonna have time to do this. You ain't gonna have time to do that. Or I don't really need it. I'm really so tired. That's not, your body might not even be physically that tired. It probably does need to go eat a healthier meal because all the meals we ate before the week before has been slowing us down. That's those thoughts that bring doubt, shame, fear, or anxiety or procrastination. Those are intrusive thoughts. So my goal is for this month, next month, is to try to get us to align, to get us motivated to get through those intrusive thoughts so we can learn how to change our mind when they come and make healthier decisions. So that I just want to let you guys get some education on intrusive thoughts. if you watch this video all the way through, I would like you to comment in in our Facebook group in the comment section, which is a private group, of how you see yourself overcoming intrusive thoughts, what goals you may have for the month of March and to April that are healthy for you, mind, body, and soul. So that means physical, spiritual, and mentally goals. Also, if you would like to share an intrusive thought that you may have that you would like to share to the group, I shared one of mine, and I think I shared two, one about the relationships and then one about, when I have PCOS. So sometimes I go there and I could go into emotional eating. It's not an excuse, but I've been more disciplined in making better choices when it comes to when I have those thoughts, especially when I work from home. Working from home, it's easy to be idle. And sometimes I feel like that's when people get intrusive thoughts the most is when they're idle. They're just sitting there and then their mind wanders. So podcasts has been helping a whole lot when I'm working from home. Sometimes I like to listen to the TV. I'm not in front of the TV, but I'm in my office, and then I can hear just whatever's playing, and then it helps me not get into my thoughts, especially when I'm frustrated when I'm working on something that's really important. So I hope you guys are out, that you guys are safe. I hope you guys are thinking about how to be a better you. Continuing on this year, which is we're in March, the month of March. I want to say happy birthday to all my March members of iCanDoit2. Happy birthday. Yay. My mom on here, so she's a March baby. And I just hope you guys are doing well. Thank you for listening to the education about intrusive thoughts for the month of March. Have a good day.